Boy, do I have some crow to eat thinking that Avatar 2 is going to flop.
Mm, I mean, it's you know, you looked at it and you thought, well, that I don't see it, making that kind of bank, and I could totally understand why, I was kind of leaning in that direction at first, but I'm kind of like, but it's you know it- like, but then I listened to Chris Gore and he was kind of like, don't count out James Cameron, and like, you know,
Yep. I think what's really interesting about Avatar: The Way of Water, first off, it looked like it was dipping more in the second weekend because it was Christmas during a historic storm.
mhm,
Once that opened up, it started overperforming.
yeah.
And that implies repeat viewings or pent up demand from that week.
Probably pent up demand from the week. Yeah, because uh, I know some people like were probably wanted to see it like
Hmm.
the opening weekend, and then they couldn't get tickets, and then they couldn't go on Christmas because it's Christmas,
Hmm.
and then so they had to wait like another week, and that's when it bounced up.
Yep. Yeah. Part of what's putting this box office so high is that it's basically eaten all of the IMAX and other premium format movie screens in the country,
Hmm.
which gives you, and that plus 3D gives you a really nice bump in your average revenue per user.
Yeah, that's very true, and of course, um, not very much competition either.
No, it certainly helps when no one else shows up because they're worried that you'll stomp them into the dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you want to see the most amusing box office, oh, actually, I did have one last thought here. I think this is a case where this is pure normie fare. Like,
Hmm.
by which I mean, it is sci-fi for a plumber who doesn't think about sci-fi very often.
Yeah, yeah. If you were watching Midnight's Edge yesterday, you might have seen DB's super chats to them,
Hmm.
like, basically saying that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
concurred. Yeah.
I was a little bit bored yesterday because I've taken the week off from work and I was doing that while I was playing some Persona 5.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was good to get some agreement on that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to see an absolutely hilarious one, um, you have the new Puss in Boots movie, which has made 150 total worldwide,
Hmm.
despite the fact that its opening weekend was something like what 12 million. Like it was something. Yeah, it looks like this thing has a natural legs. That's because it launched in the middle of that historic storm.
Yeah.
So here's where the numbers algorithm said the box office is going to be. In the 20 or the 30 million range by now.
Yeah.
It's like 72 million domestically. So like
That's,
clearly that storm hurt demand.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is the most hilarious chart that I've ever seen their algorithm develop just because
Yeah. It's flat and then it goes up. Yeah.
it's just so wildly wrong.
Yeah.
But of course, it's because garbage in, garbage out. If you have numbers that are influenced by a historic storm, then you're not gonna have a good
Mhm.
comparison point.
Very true. Yeah.
Now you noticed a few interesting things on the watch at home chart.
Yeah.
Oh gee, look who launched in at number one.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
it dropped on Paramount Plus a couple weeks ago.
oh, and for those who are watching without watching, it's Top Gun Maverick at top,
Right. Yeah.
which you know that thing is just actually, is it still in theaters? Because I saw that they had put it back into theaters for pre. No, it's not. It's out of theaters again,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it came back in and did some decent numbers in there.
Mhm.
But let's see other interesting things. The Woman King is up there, and then because I think that's just because it's on Netflix. So basically, if you own Netflix, Like, as much as people are like, "Oh, Disney is a bigger streaming service than Netflix now," no, it isn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
The the one I thought was really interesting was that Knives Out 1 is on here, but not Knives Out 2,
Yeah.
which,
That's
truth be,
on yeah.
I'm not sure if this is actually a chart for. Now that I think about it, I don't know if this is just things that people are buying, or if it is also counting in streaming numbers.
Mm,
Because I don't
that's
see anything on here that is strictly a streaming
s-
play.
streaming play. Yeah. Yeah, you might be right about that. Yeah, cuz yeah,
It
cuz you got Avatar on there and Avatar 1, which
Yeah.
that's on Disney Plus.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's possible people are buying it on iTunes, Google, Xbox, Vudu, what have you.
Yeah.
But it does explain why Knives Out 1 is on here when Knives Out 2 is not.
Yeah, and I thought the Knives Out 1 was on Amazon Prime.
Which
I may be
that
mistaken
would be,
about that.
I mean, the second one went basically straight to Netflix. So
Yeah.
it's your Ticket to Paradise. We have two different versions of the Grinch in here. Apparently, the new animated one was more
Oh,
popular than the Jim Carrey one.
yeah. I haven't seen either one of them. So
I'm not
okay.
sure. I would not recommend the Jim Carrey one. It's basically, how do you turn that into an hour and a half movie? That was like a 40-minute animated special.
Yeah, 20 or 30, I thought. Yeah,
Uh,
it's really short. Yeah.
Is it? I couldn't remember how long it's been, but the answer is you don't do it well. That's how you don't do it well.
Yeah.
That's your Wild Out Crocodile, then Black Adam, down at
Uh,
number 15 on its first weekend.
oof.
Which, to be fair, if this is only things that you have to buy digitally, it's like, okay, am I going to spend $20 to own Black Adam forever, or am I going to buy a month of HBO Max?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we need to do a little bit of research here, just because I realized how those numbers could not mean what we think they mean.
Yeah. So the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original original animated special was 26 minutes.
Hmm.
So it's
Okay.
like yeah, basically an animated episode of an animated TV show.
So how do you add an hour to that? Well, you have a joke where the Joker falls, or Joker. You have a joke where Jim Carrey falls into a woman's cleavage.
Jeez.
That's an anime joke, not a
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, no, yeah.
not a what do you call it?
Kids movie
Yeah,
joke. Dr. Seuss joke. Yeah.
Dr. Seuss. That's it. Yeah, the Seuss
Yeah.
estate was not happy with the live action movies. That's why they stopped them.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
then let's see here. Ticket to Paradise is still up there. This is another good example. $60 million production budget. I think between that and the unbearable weight of massive talent, I'd like to see more movies made like this. I'm kind
Mhm.
of done having nerd stuff as the only thing in town.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, it's like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see some different stories about different characters. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to make a rule for myself that I'm going to watch something that isn't genre fiction more often,
Hmm.
weekly, bi-weekly, whatever, just to work on my media diet.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to call the unbearable weight of massive talent part of that or not. I mean, there isn't anything science fiction in there,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah.
But let's get into our main thing here, which we're not going to go
Yeah.
too deep into too many of these because
Yeah.